DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I am once again live. Listen, first of all, I would like to apologize about the Constant Sal versus Foster fight. I came in halfway in, so I forgot it was this weekend. Really, I thought it was next weekend. So apologies for that, but no worries. We are here on time, in live, and in living color. Okay, Luke Mondada, better decision from my man. Okay, we're talking about Joshua. Okay, hello Kurt, it's going. If AJ is making a career move, then that's up to him. But I think he's just testing the waters on other job opportunities for when he does leave the sport of boxing. How much like tampering do you need to do real estate if you got money? You know what I mean? You just need the right projections, the right locations, and if you can put money into that thing, the right people to promote it, and, the right type of brokers and salesmen, you're good. Especially places like Dubai and Saudi Arabia, people are coming over there in droves that got a little bread because they figured out the tax issue, the tax breaks over there. It becomes like the new Cayman Islands, honestly. Because Saudi Arabia, they don't care about money or any of that. All boxers should do this before they leave boxing. Yeah, they should. Get an investment, buy an apartment complex or something, or a 4-house duplex, 4-unit duplex, 6-unit duplex, or something like that. It gets some income going in. Shit, have 2 or 3. Get you about 12 units and have people in it. And then that's your business. That's your job. Fix them up, clean them up, flip them. That's what they should do. But a lot of people don't. And I was talking to, who was I talking to? I think I was talking to my uncle. Not Uncle C, but another uncle. His brother. And he was saying, like, a lot of those guys, they don't really have wives, women that really support them. So they spend their life partying and doing all types of other shit, and because they're doing that, they don't really have the structure of somebody that really cares. So they're just blowing their money, any way possible, so like guys like Lennox Lewis. Okay, Lennox Lewis has a wife. How do you think Mike Tyson got out of his shit? Mike Tyson got out of his issues simply because he got out of his issues because he had somebody buy him. He didn't have, a bunch of thoughts or groupies or people that pretend to be there for him and they're really not. You know what I mean? Like some of these fighters have. They have these women around them that are not really for him. That's what you need, gentlemen. Okay? And some ladies, right? Can't discriminate in this piece. So, need you a good partner. Right? So, I can't see AJ back into the ring unless it's against Fury. Well, I think he should. I think AJ should. I think it's basically how he feels. See, I don't know if he's injured or not. I don't believe he is, but I'm not him. I don't know if he ever will be in the ring or not. I think he will. But based on how he said it, I don't think, again, I'm not British. So, when you say you step out of something, that's what you're going to do. You say that in the States, man, I'm going to step out of this relationship. That's what you're going to do. Hello, Kurt. Hope you have a good day. AJ doing a career change. Good for him. Even more if it is successful and he likes it. Well, yeah, it's crazy, though, about AJ? AJ made all that money, and people have made not even a third of the money that he's made, and they're already into real estate. Look at Andy Ruiz. Look at Deontay Wilder. those guys have already been introduced to real estate. That's what Wilder brags about. I don't have to work. I don't have to fight anymore. you know. But no, I think that AJ wants to do what he needs to do. He needs to do it. I think he needs to definitely come on and make a change. I just wonder why he said it. That's all. And while I'm here, let's start the good old poll. Cool. There we go. But no, man, I think AJ saying what he said, he's doing it probably to promote a business or something like that. But, I just wonder why he said it the way he's saying it. Skrilla 50 in the building. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Thunder's production. AJ should just fight Fury and Wilder and call it a career if he's not done now. You know what I think about? You know what I think about when I think about Anthony Joshua? I think of a guy trying to fight guys in another era, and I don't think he should do that. Bivol was robbed so Canelo can fight in a slow, no-skilled Beterbiev. Texas Holler. If Beterbiev knocks out Canelo Alvarez, we're going to see what you have to say after that, Texas Holler. Because you're talking about no-skilled. Bro, if Beterbiev had no skill, that means Bivol would have wiped the floor with him. I don't care how hard he punches. I mean, you got guys that punch hard at light heavyweight. Kovalev, is it Smith? Yeah, John Smith, Sam Smith, whatever, right? He hits hard as hell, but that doesn't mean he's skilled. So I think people look at Beterbiev based on his record. They turn into those guys that get the perception that he's just a brawler. Or no, if he was that bad of a boxer, Bivol wouldn't have had that type of problem with him. AJ won't rematch Dubois if he knows what's good for him. AJ doesn't have that dog in him anymore. Hey, if he doesn't have that dog in him anymore, he needs to go and sell real estate. Go work out every day like he knows how to do it for fun. At least he knows the prep that he's doing is just for his body and his body only, instead of conditioning for a fight that may cause you to lose your life or an eye or, something that you need. Bivol outboxed him. Yeah, he outboxed him, but he didn't win the fight based on the fact that he didn't do enough. Bivol coasted the last 2 rounds because I think he either ran out of gas or he didn't want to get caught because the punches were bothering him. If you have any doubt, look at his face after the fight. That's all you really need to do. Look at his face if he was that good of a boxer. He is a very good boxer, but that's not all he needed. I don't think AJ is retiring, but I don't think he should rematch Dubois right away. I think he should. If he's not hurt, if he's not injured, I don't give a shit about minor injuries. If he's not hurt, he should go back in there with Dubois right away. Because if he doesn't, that means that, for one, Danny Dubois has done something that nobody was able to do. More than Andy Ruiz, more than Alexander Usyk. Danny Dubois has sealed the deal. He's went in there and became a Kingslayer and took AJ out of the damn game. That's the case. Nikki Blue Eyes Austin in the building. Good evening, Kurt, right here with you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you guys. You talking just because you have a mouth. Talking about Beterbiev has no skill. Go take a nap. Hey, I agree with that because I know that's all cap. Bars. The last 2 rounds, excuse is dumb because there's 12 rounds. So by your logic, 10 rounds to 2, the 2 wins. No, you act like Beterbiev. Okay, you're a Bivol fan. I get it. But at the same time, Bivol didn't win every round of that fight. Okay? It was a reason why it was close. Bivol did things that he normally didn't do. You know, Bivol went in there, he boxed. He boxed well, but he boxed too cautiously. That's what cost him. That's what cost him the fight. And if it was that close, like I know you disagree with, but if it was that close, you know, you don't let 2 rounds go. It reminds me more of Oscar De La Hoya versus Felix Trinidad. De La Hoya was a better boxer than Felix Trinidad will ever be. Ever be. But when he came to rounds 9, 10, 11, and 12, he tried to coast and just trot around the ring like a little bitch. Yeah, I said it. That's what he did. He tried to avoid contact. You don't do that in an undisputed fight with another undisputed and undefeated champion. You don't do that type of shit. You don't do it. So, I mean, I hear you. I'm glad that you are a Bivol fan. I'm a Bivol fan, too. It's just, you're saying that you don't have to be a fan of somebody and then put somebody else down just because you're a fan of someone else. You don't have to be that way. But that's just people, you know, that's the, you know, whatever. I don't believe he's retiring, in my opinion, Kurt. I hope not. AJ's $100 million a year is still there, so maybe take a victory lap for the next couple years. Wilder, Miller, Ruiz, easy fights. Well, I want to see the Miller fight. You know, and based on AJ, we don't know where AJ is. We don't know if AJ is in a we don't know what kind of condition he's in. Can he take a shot? Because a lot of times, like, we learned from Joe Joyce, and Joe Joyce had a good beard. He had a proven beard. He proved that he can take shots. He took them from Dubois. He took them from Joseph Parker. He took them from, who else he took them from? He took them from everybody. Christian Hammer, which is a heavy-handed fighter. Brian Jennings. Stermaine Stavern. He took punches from all of those fighters. And those fighters are known to be heavy punchers. And he took them, and he took them well, and he kept coming. And he got the job done because he stopped damn near everybody. He made Dubois quit because Dubois was too worried about his eye. He wasn't worried about trying to stay and coast and survive. No, he was trying to get down on the ground. That's what he did, and that's how it ended. Okay? But even him and his chin got dented in by Zhilei Zhang, right? Why do you think Chisora did what he did with Joe Joyce? Because he knew that Joe Joyce, and by that fight, he couldn't do what he used to do. So everybody's chin gets cracked every so often, even Julio Cesar Chavez. Yes, people start dropping his ass too. And he was known to have the best chin probably in boxing, right? You know, based on that weight class. But you have to keep in mind, if heavyweights are able to take what welterweights and light welterweights are able to take, that makes him that more impressive. Why? Because if a heavyweight punch hits you and you're able to take that shit like Joe Joyce did, like he's did a long time, like Zhilei Zhang was able to take Wilder shots, if Wilder can still punch, that shows, and that's more impressive to me because they are bigger men throwing harder shots, more powerful blows. Okay? That's how it goes. Bars. Stavern is a punching bag with arms. He still has a heavy shot, though, and he still was able to catch Joe Joyce with those shots, and Joe Joyce was able to take those shots. You know? To be fair, Joyce didn't show the best chin in the amateurs, so even before the Zhang fight, I knew he didn't have an iron chin. Well, I mean, bro, he took shots from Daniel Dubois, and Daniel Dubois blew out AJ, so he had a better damn jaw and chin than AJ did. And speaking of AJ, this is what this was about. AJ going in there against someone like Miller, I don't know what condition he's in, just to bring it back around. So if he did fight guys, those easy fights you say, Ruiz, Miller, and whoever, Miller would probably give him a good fight based on the fact that we know Miller can take a shot. Because Miller's taking a shot by who? Andy Ruiz, Daniel Dubois. You know, he's taking those punches. And he was the guy that fought Daniel Dubois recently when Daniel Dubois was on his way back up to his reign. We need Dubois versus Bacoli. Golden era. Yeah, I agree. But I don't think we'll get that, though. Heavyweight boxing is top tier. Someone else should supposed to say bars, not the person speaking. Nonsense. Okay. Baller got the real big man style where he doesn't care about what you can do to him. He should fight Parker. Parker's a good fight for him, but I don't think he would want to fight with Parker. Tyson Fury is proven still the best. He got nicked off 1 point. He is still pound for pound Fury. Okay. Who will Bakali fight next? I don't know. I think that's up to his promoter. Yeah, man. I mean, people just come in and pop shit. Really, all what's going to happen is just going to get timed out and blocked. I mean, because we don't have to really be like, there's no need of it at all. Parker is just worse version of AJ. No, absolutely not. Parker is quicker than AJ. Parker is more agile than AJ. He's quicker. His footwork is better than AJ. He's shorter than AJ. He's not as powerful as AJ. Okay. No, so I don't know what you're talking about. No. Joseph Parker is a very good fighter. So I would have to go ahead and strongly disagree with that. I think AJ might come back for Fury or Wilder. Other than that, I don't know. Chris R. What I'm about to explain to people, AJ is out of his generation now. It's not AJ's time no more. He's in a different generation. What we're witnessing is guys like Dubois beating AJ. AJ's out of his generation. See, unfortunately, we supposed to saw fights 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. That should have already happened. And we should have got the AJ Wilder fight. We should have got the AJ Fury fight. We should have got these fights, but we didn't get them. Since we didn't get them, we have to realize the legitimacy and appreciate the trilogy between Wilder and Tyson Fury, because those guys were the guys of the last or the latest generation. Okay? This generation is full of guys like Dubois. We still got old ass Zhang. We still got Miller. We got Anderson. We got Sanchez. We have Caballero. Who else is really there? Bakahil Jololov is there, but I haven't seen him in a while. He went back to the amateurs to get another gold medal, and I'm like, okay, why would you do that? Okay, whatever. He wanted to be like Lomachenko. Cool. So you got him. Who else do you have? We have Martin Bakali, right? Martin Bakali. These guys are the new heavyweights. Wilder, Joshua, Fury, Miller, Ruiz, Dillian White. Who else is up there? Joe Joyce he's damn near out of here. Derek Chisora, he's almost out of here. Who else? Who else are these guys that we need to just mark off the list? Because they're not in this generation. They may be fighting in this generation, but their best performances are not in this generation. So if we see guys put on a good performance, understand, we need to appreciate the good performance, because they're not fighting at the level that they are, or that they were fighting. Okay? We'll never see I don't think we'll ever see the Anthony Joshua of 2017 or 18. We'll never see that Joshua again. That Joshua's gone. He's a guy that's trying to fight smarter instead of harder. He's already said it last year. He said, well, you know what? I'm going to try my best to fight smarter and become a better boxer, and that'll help me preserve my boxing life, because he's trying to make some bread. That's what he's trying to do. He's a businessman. He's the landlord. He's that guy. But at the same time, we'll never see that savage Joshua that fought Klitschko, that caught him with that uppercut, that went toe-to-toe after getting his nose shattered with blood against Povetkin. We'll never see that dude again. He's done. That dude is dead. That Joshua's gone. Everyone's looking for that, and that's the problem. Everybody expects AJ to be this dude he was 7, 8 years ago. He's gone. That dude's done. Did Andy Ruiz do it? I don't know, maybe. He probably helped. He probably helped. Add Alexander Usyk to the list, too. He's not going to fight for too much longer. Those guys of that generation, the ones that are still fighting, that's what makes Alexander Usyk so great, because he's still able to beat these dudes in that generation, because he beat Dubois. So the thing is, if Dubois fought him again, maybe Dubois is coming into his prime. So if Dubois beats him, understand it's a generational thing. People, father time is a real deal. I don't care how good you are. There's only so many people that can compete past their prime that can still compete and beat guys of their generation. There's only so many people that can do that. Bernard Hopkins, Floyd, but Floyd, he handpicked fighters. But what are you going to do? What are you going to throw all these hard-ass fighters in here with those old guys that they know they're not as good as they used to be? Is that fair? Doing that Jake Paul shit? That's basically all that is. McCauley is a modern-day Foreman, and he's a danger to everyone. Marlon, I do agree. That's why I think they know, put his ass back in the cupboard. Put him back in the cupboard. Because they know Martin McCauley's the kind of guy that if you throw him in, he's more like, to me, he's more like a Sonny Liston than a George Foreman. Even George Foreman looked up to Sonny Liston. That's who he sparred with. That's what he got most of his technique and stuff from. His mannerisms. He was big like Sonny. He looked up to Sonny. You guys don't know that. You know that. Sonny Liston, okay? Who came after Sonny Liston as far as menacing fighters was George Foreman. George Foreman and Sonny Liston were like this, okay? Just to educate you guys. They were like this. They were the type of dude, it was like the big brother teaching the little brother, okay? That's how they were. Martin McCauley is more like Sonny Liston. The difference between Sonny Liston and George Foreman is George Foreman didn't have that type of reputation that Sonny Liston had. Sonny Liston was a criminal. He did time. He was a long shark. He was an enforcer. He was a guy that if you owe money, you don't want to see him because he's there to break your legs. That's Sonny Liston. That's why they didn't want him in there with a guy, the champion, Pretty Boy Floyd Patterson at the time, because they knew, hey, he doesn't deserve a shot. They were trying to test his integrity in there because they did not want him to get tore to bits, okay? Tore to shreds, smashed to bits by Sonny Liston. But eventually they couldn't stop it. And what Sonny do? He came in there and destroyed Floyd Patterson, okay? But that's Martin McCauley. Martin McCauley is a guy that nobody really wants to see. They don't want to see him. He's a guy that, yeah, they seen what he did to that young American. And they saw their own fighters and their own talent. Like, hell no. Hell no. I'm not putting that dude in there with my talent. He ain't messing up our paydays and our bread. Think about it. That's not going to happen. Hey, Kurt, it's AJ ganging out for the Fury fight. I think Usyk beats Fury, though. Well, he's already beat Fury before. So would it surprise me if he beats him again? No. That won't be a surprising fight. Nothing significant of it. I don't care how many excuses that people put up about Tyson Fury and all this, that, and the other. He went in there to fight, and he did a good job. He made a good account of himself. He showed up, and he was Tyson Fury. He was no one else. He didn't go in there and the guy beat him so bad that he looked like somebody else. He didn't do what AJ just did. AJ just went in there and he didn't even look like the person that we known him to be. And that's why I agree with Dillian White. He's either very good or very bad. It would be great if Dubois could rematch Dubois and beat him. Okay. Don't understand that one. Kurt is on his way to 100,000 subs. TM Adventures. Yeah, eventually I'll get there. No biggie. I'll wear that plaque like a badge of honor, right? Fury beats Usyk with Kothan knocks out AJ 4 rounds. I don't know what that is. I don't. Yeah, Moses Atoma, he's there too. So Moses Atoma, Fabio Wardley, maybe Frazier Clark, he's still in the mix, even though he has to, his jaw needs to be repaired. Um, Anderson, Sanchez. Expect to see guys like Jermaine Franklin still in the mix. Mike Tyson. If Zhang would be champ, that would be a sight. I highly doubt it, but still, what if? Yeah, he would make history just like Andy Ruiz. He would be the first Chinese heavyweight ever. AJ is literally a multimillionaire. He should retire. Well, I mean, Jose, I agree kind of, but we have to understand, we're talking about people and as if though they were us. We have to imagine, how long has AJ been a millionaire? Can anybody tell me how long AJ has been a millionaire? 8 years, 9 years? Bro, he's been a millionaire for, I know, a decade. So when you became a millionaire for a decade and you keep stacking money and stacking money and stacking money, you get to the conclusion. You draw a conclusion to understand this reality. Unless you have a drug problem or a gambling problem, a bad gambling problem, that money that you're packing up in the bank will never be spent. You know what I mean? It will never be spent, unless you give it away. But you can't spend it. If you got $200 million in the bank, and again, you're not on drugs like Mike Tyson was, or you're not a hard gambler like other fighters were, and had bad gambling problems and issues and all that, you're just stacking money for the next person. So saying all that to say this, Jose, back to that. What is he going to do after he retires? Eunice Borderball, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. I hope he don't mean to retire. I do think he needs a year off, but not retire. Well, you know what, Quan's Big Guns? Guys like Manny Pacquiao had a whole year off after he was knocked out cold by Juan Manuel Marquez. He didn't come back until a year later. Knocking out Bacali is a problem. It's better if he retires, Kurt. Made a load of money, so let him go enjoy his efforts. Don't think Joshua can beat any of the top 5 now because his mind ain't there no more. Yeah, I don't think his desire is there like it was, but understand, AJ is going to be a declarionaire. Joshua needs to be a businessman. He's already a businessman. Joshua be skint by the time of the last reset. If AJ doesn't take the rematch with Dubois, let's bring Filip Hrgovic. He deserves a rematch. I agree on that. I agree that Hrgovic does need a rematch against Daniel Dubois. Because, I mean, that's the only time that, but I think, what happened to Filip? I think Filip Hrgovic has been humbled. That's why you seen him a couple weeks ago. He was, he's back in the gym and all that, but he's like, shh, because he acknowledges that he talked too much shit. He did all the talking, but not enough walking. He needed to do more action. I want to see Hunter fight someone, even Sanchez Hunter. Sanchez Hunter would probably be good, and that probably would be the fight to be made based on those guys' advanced boxing ability and their ability to move. That would be a very good fight. Michael Hunter versus Frank Sanchez is a very good fight. And I know and I like both of them, so I have no pony in the show. If Michael Hunter was not a person that I didn't know and haven't spoke to and, and knew of him personally, I would go with Frank because I know Frank personally. So there would be, I would go for Frank. But in this case, I couldn't tell you because they're both very good prospects. I mean, I'm sorry. Forgive me. They're very good contenders. AJ has pride. He took that loss to Usyk first time as a complete failure. He second time around he was a complete failure. The triple D is a bridge too far for his pride. Hmm. Warley needs to bring in Tank's quotes for his next opponent. I'll break your jaw. Don't bring your mouth or your daughter. Don't bring them. AJ versus Miller. KO puts him back in the top 5. Don King will bring Michael Hunter to Riyadh season. Don King might. And if he does anything good, he could do that for Michael Hunter. Just don't rip him off. Does AJ have kids or a wife? He has a boy. He has a son, and he has a baby mama. That's all he has. His baby mama was somebody he went to school with, like his high school sweetheart or something like that. Andrew 23 in the building. Kurt, do you remember in 2019 when Usyk came up to heavyweight? Dillian White was number 1 by the WBO, but Usyk overlooked his position and fought Chisora instead of White. But why haven't they fought then? Because the WBO, they have a what do you call it? The WBO has a rule that if you become an undisputed champion on the WBO and you become the Ring Magazine, which Alexander Usyk was, you can fight the WBO champion. That's why you can fight. Ended up fighting a mandatory when he fought Derek Chisora. He fought the mandatory with Derek Chisora, but then right after that, he was in line to fight Anthony Joshua. But the problem was all that was put on hold because Dillian White, as you can remember, he got knocked out by who? By Povetkin. Povetkin knocked him out. Do you think Michael Hunter will get involved now? I don't know. Chickarelli! What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Hunter needs to prove, don't he? I mean, Hunter needs fights. Hunter's already proven he's a very good fighter. He's sparred everyone. He's claimed to take Tyson Fury's ass to school, which I can believe. He's fought Usyk. He's the only one to beat Martin Bakali, probably the only one for a long time to beat Bakali. I mean, he just hasn't got the fights. He made a mistake of a lifetime, I feel. The biggest mistake that he made was not fighting Filip Hrgovic, because I think he would have beat Filip Hrgovic, and then Filip Hrgovic would not be in the position that he was ever in. Michael Hunter would be in that position. That is if Michael Hunter would have got the Zhang fight. But it wouldn't have mattered because he was still number 1. DJ Anton, what's up, Kurt? Greetings from South Wales. What's up, DJ Anton in the building? Kurt got to go. Mate, me with Yorkshire pudding or burning. Keep up the good work. Appreciate your TM Adventures in the house. AJ has a great career. He can now retire in peace. 2-time world champ. Now he explored things without having people on his ass all the time. No diddy. I don't know, man. First time here, bro. AJ versus Wilder seems like the sensible fight if he continues. Well, you know, Wilder wants it. Malik Scott wants it for Wilder. He's his trainer. I don't know if Joshua wants that fight. But then again, why wouldn't he want that fight? You know what I mean? Because if he's not going to fight the younger Dubois again, and, you know, in another hard, challenging fight, well, why not fight someone that may be on the same level as him? Hell, they both have, 4 losses? They both have 4 losses. Now, at this point, 4 losses and that 1 draw from Wilder. So Wilder was beat in the rematch with Fury, then the trilogy with Fury, then he won a fight against Helenians, then he lost to Joseph Parker, then he lost to Zhang. So he has 4 losses, 1 draw. Joshua Lost twice to Usyk, lost once to Andy Ruiz, and lost again to Daniel Dubois. So both of them have 4 losses. So none of those guys are better than anybody else. And anybody else has something to say about it, you know where to go. Because they both taken 4 losses. Four losses from 3 different people. Think about it. Tyson Fury's beat him twice. Usyk's beat Josh. Tyson Fury's beat Wilder twice. Usyk has beat Joshua twice. Then he got beat by Andy Ruiz and Dubois. Wilder, Joseph Parker, and Zhang. And, of course, Tyson Fury. Someone's 4 has to go. Connor Bonner, absolutely. Counterpunch to you. I want to see Baby Anderson, how he's improved since Bakali. Good skills and a tough guy. Yeah, he got dropped a few times, bro. People don't give him credit. Kurt, I think it's time to have this conversation. Wilder and AJ were really never that good. I think that's not true. You missed the beginning part, so I'll give you some slack on it. Since you missed it, let me say it again. Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. Those guys are not in this generation of fighters. They were in the last generation of fighters. Not the latest, but the last. Not the latest, but the last. Those guys, AJ, Tyson Fury, and Wilder, are from a different generation of fighters. They're not in their primes no more. You know Wilder ain't. You know Tyson Fury ain't. And from the looks of that Joshua performance, AJ ain't either. Those guys are never. We will never see AJ of 2017 and 18. We will never see that guy again. He's done. He's gone. Is he completely shot to shit? I don't think he shot to shit. I always think he has a good chance. But what if he does that with somebody that is not as hungry as Dubois? We know he's done. That means he definitely needs to do what he said he's going to do yesterday. Get out of boxing. Malik Scott is sabotaging Wilder's career. I don't think so. I think Wilder's done. I think people misunderstand Wilder. Wilder has his own problems that he doesn't really want to face. Wilder needs to write a damn book. He needs to write a book that helps him get over his last love. Because people, you don't understand. Wilder, when he met Telly Swift did something to him. You got to think about it. She wasn't that average chick. She wasn't average. And Wilder getting someone that's not average, is a big thing. You get that person, that upgrade, and then that upgrade does you wrong, leaves you, It's like Mike Tyson with Robin Givens. Because people can say what they want. Yes, she was allegedly a gold digger, you know what I mean, and all that. She did a lot of stuff like that. But she was smarter than him. She was an actress. Mike was a street kid, you know what I mean, that went to jail from the streets. You know what I mean? Boxing saved him. That's pretty much what he learned. He learned about fights, warriors, and fighting. Warriors, boxing, strategy. That's what he learned about. Customato turned him into an athlete. Not saying Mike Tyson was dumb. What I'm saying is, at that time, Mike and Robin Givens were on a totally different level. Same thing for Wilder and Telly Swift. Telly Swift, bro, let me tell you guys something, okay? All right, I'm going to spill the beans. I got enough of you guys here. Telly Swift's father called me. He called me. And he wasn't pissed off, but he was disappointed because he wanted to set records straight. Telly Swift's father called me. He called me. I don't have to say the names. It's her father. He called me. And he was like, look, this was after Jarrell Miller made his last diss track on how and what he did to Wilder's ex-girl. If you guys can remember, Jarrell Miller did a rap song on Instagram, and he implied that Like he said before, 50 Cent had the broke out, Yeah. So I did a counterpunch on it because I thought it was hilarious, but I also thought it was below the belt because you shouldn't say anything about someone's wife or fiance, because if you're engaged to someone, that's what you intend to do, marry them. So I look at engagements, somebody that has put the effort in and has made a commitment, and that person has decided, yes, I'll marry you, and then they decide to get married, and then they have a ring and the engagement ring, and then they're setting a date and planning and all that. That's a lot different than someone living together and just saying, hey, yeah, this is my woman or this is my man. Okay, so no, Wilder did that for a reason. You don't become engaged with somebody that you don't intend to marry. You know what I'm saying? So Jarrell Miller doing what he did was below the belt, but it was fire. I ain't gonna lie, it was fire, man. Like he put Jarrell Miller can flow. He has bars, right? So I did the counterpunch, and I was at my condo. I never forget this. So I did the counterpunch, did it, edited it, posted it, and went to sleep. So I had a missed call, and it was another missed call, and the missed call was from Maui, and I'm like, Maui? Who do I know from Maui? And what I can remember at that time, that's when Maui was on fire, and I was thinking like, oh man, maybe there was somebody that my daughter knew, or my daughter's side, or on her mom's side, that were probably living in Hawaii. So I answered the phone, and the guy was like, hey man, hey Kurt, this is Kurt DeVille. I'm like, yeah. He's like, man, I want to talk to you about some things. I was like, well, what's going on? And he was like, well, I want to talk to you about, my daughter. And I'm like, well, who's your daughter? And he was like, well, my daughter is Taylor Swift. He said her real name and everything, and he's like, and he was explaining to me that, hey, look, I watch your show, I watch Blue Blood show, I watch Show Business show, and I like you guys. You guys are good content creators, but I want to let you guys know that, Jarrell Miller is a liar. Yeah, he's a liar, and I want you to know that, I had to confront Jarrell Miller personally, and he said that he was just all for jokes and games. Now, this is what he's telling me, and I'm sitting there. We talked for about an hour, okay? We talked for about an hour, and he's telling me that, my kid, she went to this school, she was in nursing school, she's very bright, she's very intelligent, she met Deontay, he convinced her to be with him and stuff like that, like, he broke it down. She ain't that type of person. She's not a groupie. She's not a slut. She's not a whore. She's none of those things. She's my daughter, and my daughter represents me, and I took care of my daughter, and I raised my kids right. And he told me the 411 about his daughter. Okay? So, that being said, right? That being said, those are the type of calls I get. Who's that behind you? Come on, man. Why are you asking a welterweight versus a heavyweight what makes it new? I don't believe that. She's been with other boxers before. Well, but you got to understand something. Keep in mind, if that was your daughter, wouldn't you, try to, protect her image or speak up for her? You know what I mean? I know what that's like. He said, Connor, lay off the shrooms. I know, right? Who's that in the red behind you? Kurt, I see red. Bro, you probably see a lot. He's way better off getting out now while he's still able to enjoy the fruits of his gifts, Scott, I agree. Like a lot of fighters, you get knocked out a few times. You're not right in the head. You know what I mean? You're not right. You're not where you were. You don't have your bearings. You can't think. You're not as sharp. Your timing's always off. Things you can't remember. You know what I mean? Because, you're getting, brain cells knocked out of you. Protect her, yes, but I wouldn't lie. I heard that, ass Skip. She was questioning Wilder's manhood on a podcast. She's no shrinking violet. Oh, that's bad. I didn't know she went at Wilder like that. But I'm saying this, people. I'm saying this for a reason. The reason I'm saying this is because we don't know where Wilder is. Wilder, if you guys haven't noticed, Wilder hasn't even responded to JJ's KO loss to Daniel Dubois. Guy Carter, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. So, man, that's the thing. And I knew at that point, I said, you know what? Wilder's hurting, man. He's hurting. Because he don't even have the energy, because that's pretty much what he built his career off of. Wilder built his career off of being the villain for Anthony Joshua in the UK. The American villain, Wilder was. And he made his career. That's how he made his money. He made his money from AJ. Tyson Fury, honestly, he wasn't big enough because Tyson Fury was out of the game at that time. Right? Because if you guys realize, you only had Vladimir Klitschko and his brother. They stunk up and bored everybody. Bored people out of their damn seats. People didn't even want to watch that shit. People didn't want to watch Vladimir Klitschko fight. You know? Wilder may fight Ngannou 2 times. Yeah, I mean, if he does that, he needs a dancing partner. Wilder needs a dancing partner, but, you know. But yeah, man, if somebody... I'm going to tell you guys a story. I had a friend named Cliff. Shout out to Cliff. Clifton Berry from New Orleans, good friend of mine. Love him like a play cousin. Right? He told me a time that he went through this bad breakup. I mean, it was bad. He couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. She shredded him. She broke his heart, and she smashed it in 2. And he told me that he went to Honduras because he learned about, tripping, like taking ayahuasca. So he took ayahuasca, and he told me about the whole experience because he could remember the whole thing, the trip. Because, you take that shit, you go on a trip, man. You go on this crazy psychedelic journey. You go on this journey, and he told me that, that the shaman was doing things to him, and he felt like he was bouncing up in the air, and he bounced 2 or 3 times, like way up in the sky. Then he came down, and he was like that for a long time. So after he came off the trip, now mind you, after he came off the trip, that girl, that issue that he was having with that girl, the one that broke his heart in 2, he had no issue with. The feeling that he thought when he thought of that woman now was non-existent. Okay? It was non-existent. That being said, now I understand why Deontay Wilder went where he went. So everything now is pieces and damn blessings, simply because, he tripped. Because I think he had so much anger in Wilder had so much anger in him, that he needed something to bring him down. And it wasn't medication. It wasn't, daily pills, or take this 2 times a day or once a day or 3 times a day or 4 times a day, and all that shit. No. He went to a shaman, and he got himself a treatment. Kurt versus Jack Paul will be a great fight. He knocks out Mike, man. I'm coming for that dude. I'm coming for him. Oh shit, any ayahuasca story, I'm all for it. Yeah. Look, man, and that's what happened. Cliff told me, he said, bro, I had no fucking recollection. Like of how I felt about her. He said that was gone. Every time he thought of it, he said, yeah, I remember dating her. But that feeling he got when like the thought of her doing what she did to him. I think he caught her sleeping around or some shit like that. And, it just tore him apart, and he wanted to marry the girl or whatever. So anyway, so after he did that trip in Honduras, that ayahuasca, and he said the shaman was zah. He was saying some crazy word and he would shoot. He would like bounce and he would fly all the way up to the sky. Mind you, he's on a psychedelic drug, so to him that's what he was doing. And after he did that, because I think he was there for 2 or 3 days. After that, he felt no inkling of pain, sorrow, remorse, sadness, none of that when it came to that woman. So that issue was resolved. So I think that's what happened to Deontay Wilder, because this is what probably could have happened with Wilder, okay? Wilder could have, what's that song? Smack this bitch up? Yeah, he could have slapped her around when he found out she was cheating. And he thought about all the money and the time and the effort and, the exposure and all that he gave her to get her where she is. Because she has her own talk show. She does that. He probably lost it. He went through her stuff to confirm it, like people do. You know what I mean? And he found out she was cheating and all that stuff, and he went upside her head. He threw one of those, possibly threw one of those, a couple of those Wilder windmills. You know what I mean? Imagine getting hit with a Wilder windmill if you're, 140 pounds, and you're 5'5" or 5'6", getting hit with somebody that's 6'7", And he probably said to this day after he did it, to this day, back. Yeah, that's probably what happened. I'm not sure, but I don't know. I'm just talking. I'm just talking simply based on the fact that she said he never hit her. So I don't think he did. As fair-skinned as she is, yeah. Someone like her, if he would have hauled off and went upside her head, yeah, she would have had evidence, and she would have kept it. So everything he said she did to him, or she said he did to him, I don't really. That it's kind of hard to prove. I'll put it that way. Guys, suicide of stuff like Wilder went through. He obviously loved that woman. Yeah, man. But I now understand why he went there. You know what I mean? Like 10 years ago, I would have went. I just didn't really. And I knew it because I knew the story. He told me the story years ago. Years before that happened to me. But I'm kind of glad it didn't happen out, because I probably wouldn't even be talking to you guys right now. Wait, so Telly and Wilder ain't together no more? Abigail said, no, they're not, Abigail. They ain't been together, and here's the thing. See, everything came out this year. He gets knocked out by Zane. She files a restraining order against him. And it didn't make sense because he was still in Saudi Arabia at that time. And I'm like, well, why would you file a restraining order against someone that's not even in the country? It would seem like you would do that before he left it, if he gave you any reason or issue at that present point of time for you to run to the police and do that. She waited for him to get knocked out and beat by Zane, and then she filed the order, which I thought that was real suspect, because you don't do stuff like that. And see, AJ, shout out to AJ. AJ was like, they asked AJ, man, are you seeing anybody? He was like, no. They were like, why? Why you don't want to be with anybody? He was like, no, I don't. He said, because I don't want to be one of those guys that get in a relationship, then we break up, then that shit's on my mind. I need to focus on these fights. So I can respect that. So back to Wilder, he's going through it. He went through a phone, and this was probably about March of last year. Now, keep in mind, Wilder wasn't fighting, and now I understand possibly why he wasn't fighting. He wasn't fighting based on the fact that he was going through shit with that woman. And then that's what she told the cops. She's like, well, he was going through my personal business accounts and threatening people and reaching out to people and contacting people that were in my personal laptop or my personal iPad and all that stuff for my business. And it's like, well, I know people of that stature that, they're hustlers, they're opportunists. I've dated a lot of opportunists, bro. I know. Trust me. Most people they call, oh, my business. Yeah, that's their business and their business only, and you need to stay out of it. Don't mean they're making business together. The only business they have together is personal business. So she said that to the cops, and then the cops were like, okay, well, what does that got to do with him jumping on you or harassing you or whatever, whatever. But smart move, pump them and dump them. Have you hurt your leg, bro? Looks like you're limping is all. Yeah, I did. My meniscus, I have to have surgery, bro. That's it. I have to have surgery. That sounds like some real host. Yeah. Maybe she was worried he might beat up bad the boyfriend. Yeah, he found out she was talking to somebody, and I think, me personally, that's the person that she really liked, someone that was more on her level. Wilder was a tool. A lot of these chicks do it, bro. I mean, she had a baby with him, but understand, she already had a child. See, I was giving her the benefit of the doubt of like, well, she had a child with him, so she ain't that bad. She ain't as bad as Robin Givens, because Robin Givens didn't have kids with Mike Tyson at all to want his money, whereas she did. But I didn't know she had another child. And like I tell anybody, if you have, like, if you already have a kid, and that kid's by someone that's broke, that's a loser, that's not really too supportive, or that gives you the stability based on what he does with his life, why wouldn't you go have another baby with somebody that you just met that does do that does have that? So that's probably more than likely what she did. Maybe she was worried. Okay, I'm an optimistic, but it seems like guys with damaged records will take over. Maybe the O won't be the end all and be all. And I don't think it should. Daniel Dubois, he got beat a couple times. So what? In fact, he was the guy that was taking those O's away from those guys. So it don't matter, does it? Daniel is dangerous. His losses are in the past. And a loss to Usyk ain't bad. No. Triple D has much momentum. He sure does. Absolutely. Counterpunch to you guys. Imagine having to deal with Wilder as a jealous ex-boyfriend. Scary stuff. Oh man, she did say some stuff that was kind of like, that sucks. And it's not really abuse, but it's kind of like, who'd want to put up with that? You know what I mean? Like, she said that Wilder expects to have SEX 3 times a day. SEX 3 times a day. You imagine that? Wilder coming in, breakfast, lunch, dinner. That's crazy. Tell it. It's time. You ready for this? They call me tripod. They call me the Alabama tripod. I ain't mad at that. I mean, that's what he expected. But I mean, here's the deal. If she didn't like it, she could have left. Come on, bro. If she didn't like that, she should have left. And I know a lot of freaks that would love that. So that's dumb. He's rich, so that means you're good. Now, does that mean you're necessarily rich? Not really, not yet. But that also means that you keep hanging around that rich fellow, 2 things will happen. Either you'll take all of his money, or he will get you in a position to make your own money. And I think that has happened. A 6'7" world champion boxer, an ordinary person would have no chance. Pulverized. Sadly, nowadays it's becoming more common as people cherry pick. Sex me, winch. Yeah. If you have an O as a heavyweight, you're either ducking on the come up or heavily protected, which the exception of Usyk. Us men think we're players. No man plays harder than a woman. Scorn, ruthless. Wow. Yeah. But I mean, that's pretty much that. But no, man, I don't think AJ's retiring. I think he should fight Wilder. It would be a shame if we don't get that fight. At least if we got that fight at some point, it would be all right. You know what I mean? It would be something. And if it was half-ass entertaining, just be thankful with that. Thankful the fight got made and it actually happened. Because those guys with the egos that they had and their damn managers and promoters hated each other, that shit was a shit show. It was just born for disaster. It was, it was just, and it was more than Wilder and Joshua. You had Eddie Hearn, you had Matchroom, you had DAZN that just launched, and, AJ was fighting on DAZN, so was Dillian White and others that were trying to promote. Then you had over here, you had the PBC with Showtime. And, back then, Al Heyman had a relationship with Fox and PBC and all that. They weren't trying to give up their position. Yeah, it was bad, bro. That fight between AJ and Wilder was not going to happen. It was just something that was perfectly set to be a disaster because it wasn't happening based on those politics. Looks like Dubois got a kid. Yeah, I think he needs to call Dana on that one. I was talking to my uncle. And my uncle, man, he went crazy, ballistic. So I recorded him and I put it on my other channel because I don't want to get mine demonetized because he's real raunchy. He's real raunchy, bro. But, I was crying when he was saying it. So I recorded him. I don't know if you guys could hear me laughing in the background, but my uncle C was recording it, and he was just telling me, like, he don't like that idea. He thinks he's a gold digger and all that. And I was like, dang. Okolie versus Wardley would be a juicy British showdown. Okolie versus Wardley. Yeah, I mean... Oh, Okolie, like Lawrence Okolie. Dude, I don't like Lawrence Okolie. That jab and grab shit, I'm sick of that. Look, I don't want to see that ever again in heavyweights. I just don't want to see it. Shannon Briggs would be a nightmare as a jealous ex. Let's go champ every time you see him. Yeah, he be trying to fight that dude every time you see him. Let's go champ. Shut up, Tina. Let's go champ. What you got to say, champ? What you gotta say, champ? Get the son. Get the car, son. Shut up, Tina. Let's go, champ. What you gotta say, champ? Man, I'm tired of you. I'm tired of you too, champ. Let's go, champ. Caballero is a sleeper. He can KO you off skill versus sheer power. Yep. People look. And if he takes out Martin McCauley, people now they know, okay. People will then go, because they don't have to fight him. They don't want to deal with that dude. He's boring, but I think Wardley would knock him out. AJ versus AJ Wilder and AJ Fury can't happen. It has to, especially with the Saudi touch, big bank. We'll see. I'm just not. I don't believe in promoting losers like that. Because if you're gonna do that, okay, just for sake of seeing AJ versus Fury, you should do that with everybody. You know what I mean? That means the winner out of McCauley versus Caballero gets a shot at whoever the hell the next fighter is. So if McCauley, like let's say Martin McCauley beats Caballero, okay, throw Caballero in there with Joseph Parker. Throw him in there with Philip Hergovic. Caballero resume took a hit with Mark Meadows losing again. Yeah, it did. because it looks less significant. And then, you know, yeah, true that. I don't believe there is the same interest. Losers need to reestablish themselves. Stuart, I agree. I don't believe in promoting losers like that. If we're gonna do that, okay, let's do that with all the losers. Or should I say all the fighters that lost? Let's check the votes, shall we? Is Anthony Joshua really retiring? 40% says no. 60% says yes. No. 40% says yes. 60% says no. Kurt Frank looked unfit as well. Yeah, something was wrong with his knee, they say, you know, and looks like something was bothering him. So, yeah, man. Hey, that's boxing, man. I agree. There's a Saudi money to go around, bro. I agree, man. Let everybody get paid. Let everybody get paid. You know what I mean? Or let's do this. Shit, okay, if Caballero gets beat by Bacali, put Caballero in there with Andy Ruiz. Come on, man. Like let's look at it like that. And then Andy really didn't lose officially, but I mean he kind of lost, you know. He really did kind of lose, you know. Sanchez is recovering, you know. He's back in training and all that, so he's good. He just had his surgery and all that. He shouldn't have went in the ring fighting anyone like Caballero if he knew he needed a surgery, though. You know, a lot of these fighters get pressured by taking the money because it's like, hey, you either take this $5 million and fight with that fucked up knee, or you wait and you miss out on that $5 million. Somebody else gets that $5 million, and then guess what? You may not get that opportunity again. So what do you think you're gonna do? No, I'm taking the $5 million too. Shit, I'll take $5 million and fight on this knee right here. But understand, look at it. Look at this knee brace. You see this knee brace? I carry that most of the time. Okay. So if I do land a shot with Jake Paul and I can't move like I normally do because the leg gets hurt, or it gets hurt or gets more damaged in the fight, don't say I didn't say that didn't happen. Yes, Kurt, Saudi money, a lot to miss out on. Carly versus Big Bang. That ain't gonna happen. I'm just gonna tell you, that's not gonna happen. You know, see, that's not gonna happen. Stuart, yeah, it's for the mandatory spot in the IBF. Yeah. So that, you know, and if I'm Mark McCauley, why would I want to take on Zhang when I know I got a mandatory position? I know I got to fight someone to get to where I want to be. You know what I mean? I'm not going to fight Zhang. Why would I do that? That's against the grain. Bars. So, yeah, man. But, yeah, I think AJ's going to hang in there. I think AJ's going to hang in there, dude. So, we'll see as time permits. But I appreciate you guys coming on, man. It was good reaching out to you on this Sunday. Hope I made enough content for you today. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. If you haven't seen Uncle C, go to Kurt DeVille Life Relationship and Reviews and check out that video too. You know, it's hilarious. My uncle's going off on Daniel Dubois' girlfriend. And that shit's funny. So, you know, so you guys check that out if you haven't already. But anyway, you guys be blessed. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. And everyone has been counterpunched. Peace.